Hey, what's up, y'all? This is another Jux Explained, and today we're going to talk about F boys and F girls. Uh, it's a little bit more explicit than that, but we're trying to.
Hey, we're trying to protect our monetization goals.
Yeah. So let's be creative, right? So
This guy's over here dying.
going forward, I might be interchanging those words with the actual word, but I think it's like 5 minutes you got to give it for YouTube to let you like keep going. But anyway, so the first thing I want to talk about is what is a F boy, right? Because for real, I haven't heard of the term fuck girl. Like,
You didn't even try hard.
I know, because it don't give the same spice. You know what I mean? Like I like my food seasoned. It don't give the same spice.
And you're like your F's with the UCK at the end.
Exactly.
Wow. I got
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. What is it? What is it?
So,
give us the dictionary definition.
I want to give the dictionary definition, and bear with me real quick. All right. So, a F boy.
It's too late.
We gonna be changing that.
Yeah. Clearly.
Switch it up.
A fuck boy is a boy who plays with girls' feelings and doesn't really like them and would say anything a girl wants to hear to have sex with them or to get something they want. They know girls want to hear. They know what girls want to hear, but they hurt so many girls.
It hurt so many girls.
Look. This is the funny part. Once they are a fuck boy, they will always be.
Damn, so no
You
growth.
can't be reformed.
You can't. No
growth.
no rehabilitation. Just like you're just at. If you know a guy's a fuckboy, don't fall for him. Whoa, hold on. This is weird. Usually fuckboys are cute, so yeah, you usually can tell if they're a fuckboy.
Based on how you look,
based on how they dress and act.
Wow.
It's funny.
Oh, okay.
You know what's funny? That's not really accepted the other way around, though.
And this is why Jux Explained is here, so we can explain what we think about it.
Go ahead.
And he is kind of a player and a hoe. Which
Is that
for the
a
youngest
player
out there,
with
he's
an
a
A?
thought. He's a thought.
Is that player with an A or with an ER?
With an ER.
Oh, damn. A full player.
Not a real player.
Yeah, no, not a player. Not a
with
player
ER.
who likes
You
to
just
crush a lot. Yeah, that's whew. All right. I guess we're aging ourselves in that one, possibly
With the
but
pun lines.
Yeah,
For
man.
sure.
So let's get started, right?
What is it? What is your thoughts of what a F boy is?
What are my thoughts?
Yeah.
I think to a degree, based on the definition, I might have played that role before, but not in the full definition though, because saying anything that you need to say in order to have the person be in alignment with what you're looking for, I've never done that. That's just straight up being dishonest and lying.
Manipulative.
And I am manipulative, and I think I care about people's feelings a little bit too much. So you guys are gonna have to explain deeper.
Okay. So what was the question again? Just to state it again.
What is your thoughts of a F boy?
So my thing is, I do agree that it is somebody who plays with people's feelings, right? But I also don't think a fuckboy is somebody who is actually actively trying to consider your feelings. It's just that what they're doing doesn't match up with what you want to happen.
Right.
So,
Right.
for example, just because you feel like, cause I've been in a situation where women is like, "Yo, you were being manipulative," and I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was just moving and living. As I got older, I realized, oh, maybe I hurt you because of the way I was moving. But I think a fuckboy is doing that shit intentionally. I'm not intentionally trying to hurt you or manipulate you into anything. But if you see me interacting with women and not giving you the amount of, I guess, emotions that you're trying to get from me, it could be something completely different. It can be, maybe I had some past childhood trauma and my emotions are bottled up. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to necessarily be me being a fuckboy and trying to do you dirty just to have sex with you.
I feel like that added addition to the definition conflates it a little bit.
What you mean?
Because by adding it, like, well, you're doing it just to have sex with this person means that, like, there's a game that is played in general when you're doing this, and it puts a lot more people in that category than I feel like probably need to be.
Because of the sex involved?
Because of, like, yeah.
Well, okay. I can hang out with you. I can change it up a little bit.
Right.
So
I'm intrigued. Let's go.
So it doesn't. Okay, let's say I'm doing the things I'm playing with your emotions to get resources.
What's resources? Define resources.
Houses, living, like living in a house.
You need
like,
a key to the Ultima?
No. Say if I'm a guy who has nowhere to live, and I interact with this woman because I know she has a place to live, and I want somewhere to stay.
You want a sugar mama?
No, not even.
It don't have to be a sugar mama. Especially if you're a guy who's just on the streets.
Not for the streets though. God damn.
I mean, you could be a guy on the streets and you'd be like, yo, I'm not even really attracted to this woman, but I know that if I give her what she needs, I'll have a place to stay.
So you're a prostitute.
You know what's funny? No. You're really not. You're not wrong, but that's not how it's considered. It's okay. It's funny because we talked about we talked about double standards way back on our first episode of Juxtaposed, but it is a very interesting double standard for men because if you would do all of that to have a house, you are a prostitute.
You're a prostitute. Yeah.
You're selling yourself for a bed and some hot cocoa.
That's prostitution. Absolutely. I know people usually think about it as the exchange of money for sex, but if you're exchanging sexual favors for any type of goods,
prostitution.
It could be I'm exchanging sex for, I don't know, I get to sleep at your house. I get to
drive your car.
I get to drive your car. Or maybe I turn you into my Uber for sexual favors. That's prostitution.
It's such a so I feel like we stumble in, and it's a slippery slope when we stumble into the word prostitution because it's like illegal everywhere with the exception of a couple states.
Yeah, Vegas.
But no, it's really true. I think if you think about it from just a linear, logical, well, you're doing this to ensure that you have somewhere to stay and somewhere to eat and a car to drive. That's prostitution.
Correct.
But I think the only thing I would like, and it's crazy that I'm like having an argument point with.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
I think with prostitution, both of you know it's prostitution.
You don't have to know
Not
it.
necessarily.
Prostitution is prostitution, right? Regardless of if you know it's
It's
prostitution
the act.
or you don't know it's prostitution. Definitions exist for a reason. You might not understand the definition. You might not know that you're partaking in that definition, but you are that definition. Exchanging goods and services for sexual favors is prostitution. You don't have to know that. That's how it's defined.
And it's the oldest trade in the book.
Correct.
I mean, like kind of like threw my, because I'm like,
where you go from there?
like, am I a gigolo or am I like
A gigolo is the male definition of it, but it's still prostitution.
So let's get away from that.
Yeah, because the conversation is what is a fuckboy.
Yeah. So what my question is, and I would love for y'all to explain this. If I'm doing what I'm doing and it happens to affect your feelings, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm playing with your feelings, though.
You are.
Explain a little further. I need some scenarios because I feel like that's too vague to really give an opinion.
Scenario, I guess, liking someone and then not liking them anymore.
Are you stringing them along?
Do they think you still like them even though you don't like them anymore?
Well, it could be. Hold on.
Because
It could be.
It's all false pretense.
It could be. I'm not sure that I don't like them, but I'm starting to get to that point, and I would
Of not liking them.
Yeah, it's like yo, I'm seeing some flags. I'm seeing some issues. I don't know giving them the benefit of the doubt, and then you know what? I'm done. Oh, you were just playing. Never really wanted anything, and it's like if someone says that to you, and you're like in your mind, like, no, I wanted something, but you won't accept responsibility that you just not a good fit for me. But instead of saying, yo, I'm saying you're not a good fit, you go around and say, hey, I'm an F-boy.
I think that I think
is that not
gets,
a thing?
That's real.
I think that gets attributed to anything and gets thrown on people as a result of not being able to fully understand the dynamics of relationships. I think that people use that as a catch-all, for lack of a better term, of like, oh, okay, well, you know, you're no longer. That's why, I always knew you were an F-boy. You know, like I think that's why it's such a convoluted statement at this point. Like, what is it? Which is why
I see that. I think in that scenario, I hear it a lot in the way you're explaining it, where the guy kind of makes you know what it is. You're kind of not willing to accept what it is. And then time passes and there's no change taking place. And now you become bitter. You're a little bit jaded. So you put that label on them.
And I like how you put that. And I'm going to throw a name out there.
Uh-oh.
And I'm just going to throw it out there. Future.
See, because I don't know the specifics of anyone's personal relationships,
we only have the stories.
Can't really say he is that because
he's a stereotypical.
He's kind of like the king of them.
The fact that you even said that means you've heard,
of course,
that he's the king.
But we've always only gotten one POV, right?
And what's that POV?
He's never said anything.
Exactly. Future just says what he says in his raps, and
that's it.
Well, is any of the raps the reason why people are getting this view of him? Besides his relationships. Like, take the relationships. The things he says in the raps, is that not...
It could lead to that, but Future has also been on record as saying, I don't even drink lean anymore, but he constantly raps about lean. So if you're going to take his raps as being his actual life, that's kind of your fault. Because just because he talks about that doesn't mean he lives that.
Also, to add to that too, I feel like a lot of what people put on you is none of your business. But people could say, "Oh yeah, Future's all of this, but does Future care? Future out here getting his money, bro.
Future just sold his catalog up to 2021, 2022 for like 300 million or some ridiculous number. He's getting paid. He don't care.
And I think that a lot of times what people do is they'll see behaviors and I mean, it's a human trait. You'll see things and your brain automatically assigns a label to it in order for your brain to use less power to figure out exactly what it is. So they're like, yeah, okay, it's like tying your shoes. Like, I know how you pull up, you wrap a bow, and you tie your shoe, right?
Right.
So you're not thinking that, well, that's one way of tying it. So I think at the core, a lot of people attribute that to people who they may have had an interest in, but he's an F-boy because he's not giving me the attention I want, or he's not da-da-da-da. And it's like, well, maybe you just want the person for them. But then the flip side of that is, and if we're going to have the conversation about the F-boys, what is the inverse of that? It's like, when you talk about Scrubs, you have to talk about Pigeons. As a DJ, I don't play those two songs without playing each other together.
So you don't play Scrubs without Pigeons?
Nope. I never do. Okay. I never do.
And I could understand that.
Because for being a fair person.
Listen, the two things live in a space together. Now, have you ever heard about Sporty Thieves again? Never. You never heard about them guys again.
This is a fact.
You literally,
that
was their only
song. I will never forget it.
That's the only song they had. They were a one-hit wonder with a remix of that song.
And I think they came from a standpoint like, yo, we have to give justice. And
you got to have a yin with the yang.
Yeah, like, cause it's not just one thing, right? Like, it's not just one side of the story. So I've been having this conversation for the past year. of what a F girl is.
Is that a thing?
Some people have said that's not even a thing.
The women that string men along.
Come on, Aaron.
I mean, that exists.
You cooking right now.
That exists. So if you're gonna have quote unquote a fuck boy, then you gotta have a fuck girl because it's the same. Just you're switching.
I'm gonna say this, bro. If you go on a date with somebody with no intentions of being a dead person, just to have some food,
I want some meals.
You are
you can't say that. You can't say
fuck
that.
girl, and I said it. We're not gonna edit it out.
Well, we're gonna have to bleep this whole.
No.
You cannot say
100%
that if a woman wants to go,
if you're going just to get
to
food,
get dinner, she is not an F girl.
She's just a beautiful queen, and he's paying to be in the presence of a queen. Right?
There you go, Aaron. Get it right.
Are you Robin Fenty? Are you Beyonce? Like what are we what are we talking about here?
Yeah, we're talking about Yas Queen.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we talking about.
I'm just saying, if you do that, we need to start identifying the parameters, because the parameters are well defined for the male side of the coin,
right?
And I know that, like, I'm not here to bash women. I'm not saying any of that. No, I'm not. But if you go on a date with somebody you have no interest in just for food, so he could buy you food for you and your 4 kids, you're a fuck girl.
Yo.
Am I wrong?
Are you talking about McDonald's?
You and your 4 kids?
No, literally, if he has to buy food for anybody that's not at the table,
this is my, and this is not why we're doing the Jux Explained.
We went all the way.
But if you are buying food for a woman who also has 4 children, you probably deserve to get taken advantage of.
Wow. Damn. Sheesh.
I like how you hold people to like.
No, he went. No, listen.
You're asking for it.
When he started down this path, this is not where I thought he was going.
No.
You're asking for it. What do you mean? People, listen. There are people out there with 4 kids that have the date, but they don't expect the person to buy 4 kids worth of food.
Person.
Yeah, that was kind of messed up. It's kind of messed up.
Okay. Let me change that
Clean
up.
it up.
Clean it
up.
If you are going on dates with women who have 4 children by multiple men,
it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
No.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't matter.
Dude, how many men? 4 children. How many men?
Listen, as long as it's not 5 men.
How many men? Then the math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'. You
call Jerry. Call Jerry from the grave.
How many men?
No, here's the thing.
Many men.
No, here's the
Many
thing.
men.
Listen, we cannot. We can sit here and talk about people's past. We've all done crazy shit. We've all.
Okay.
I'm not gonna sit here. You can sit here looking self-righteous. I don't care what you have to say. We've all done crazy stuff, right? So I'm not going to go ahead and persecute.
I just still want to know how many men.
No, I'm not persecuting somebody who had 4. If she had 4 kids by 4 different dudes, that's fine.
I'm not taking her to dinner.
No, but if we go to dinner,
are you kidding me?
No, but hold on. If we go to dinner, and you have 4 kids, and you're like, hey, Jim, Bob, Jerry, and Frank all need food from this meal
right now.
Okay,
you got all boys.
Yes, I'm doing all boys because that's all the first name that came to mind.
Okay. My bad.
All right, Jim, Rachel, Frank, and Sukiana. I don't know. I literally, I don't have names right now. That's not the point. My point is, if we go on a date, I am going on a date and I will pay for what we're doing on a date. But if you're going on a date only to get food, you need a job.
You know what?
Am I wrong?
Clearly, jobs are not in a high echelon of her
Bro,
life.
you better get on OnlyFans and sell some toe pics. We're going all over it. This is a full fucking episode.
I guess. No, I want to stay on your point.
Okay.
We can all fit it into what we're talking about. I think there's certain levels where it's like, okay, it's acceptable.
What's acceptable? Buying food for the kids who ain't there?
I mean,
are you bringing the kids to the date? Like,
I'm not even going to use the kids because I'm going to leave the kids out of it.
Okay.
Because I'm a gentleman.
You're a gentleman.
Wow. Okay.
But even for the date, I'm not going to say you're an F girl just because you want to get some food out of me.
I think you are. If there's no interest.
Only if you want to get food out of it.
Yeah, there's no interest of anything else, but you're just meeting up with this person because you're like, oh, I want to go on a date and I want to get some food. It's like, even when you think about it, like, when they bring their friend to the date, and now you have to pay for both. That's
now that's getting some.
You are one to twin of fuck girls.
That might be a topic that might hit Juxtaposed.
We need to dive deep, but we need to have to get a woman's opinion, because I think we're a little bit skewed because we're the guys. And
the reason why I say that, because this is Jux Explained 1, and 2, I've actually heard of a situation where a woman brought her friend along for the date.
Okay.
The guy went along with the whole date, and then when it was all said and done, he went to the waitress or whatever, got them to cut the check for what he ordered, paid for it with a nice tip, and bailed.
And bounce.
And didn't pay for the other
left
stuff?
them both there. Broke out. I agree with it, but that's a deeper conversation.
Yeah, we'll table that for later.
Yeah.
But I mean, I from a top level, I feel like if you're going down the path of what I call emotional manipulation, because you're going out with this person with no intention of doing anything. Now, if you guys are friends and you guys are hanging out, and
that's different.
It's a whole different ballgame. We're not even talking about that in this case. But if you are literally in a dating space and you go out on a date with somebody you have no interest, you can even get wet for this guy. That's manipulation, bro. And you're an F girl.
So I think to go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I do want to take it off of the buying dinner, and because I want to make it clear there are women out there who just want the D. And so
then we don't have to go on a date.
And they are using the guys just for the D.
I don't know if that, as long as he understands that, then.
Well,
that's not a fuck girl.
So we're looking at it from a guy point of view.
Now you're moving into maybe just a beneficial situation.
No, because the definition mentioned sex.
Yeah,
that's dude who just wants sex.
That's why I don't like the sex part. I feel like
I'm like, hey, there are women, which I didn't know this at a point in time, because I was in a situation where
that are using men for sex. You weren't aware of that?
No,
you've been missing out.
No,
you've been missing out.
No, because the situation I was in is they made me feel like I was a fuckboy because I was having sex with them, and they made it seem like all I wanted was sex. And I've seen this in just like typical society. They say dudes just want to have sex. And then as I got a certain age and learned some stuff, I learned humans just like to have fucking sex. So it's not necessarily, I always was like, oh, it's a guy thing. That's just how I was brought up. I was brought up like guys just want to smash everything. But then I learned, I was like, hold up. Women like smashing too.
It takes two to tango, bro.
Yeah.
And they are perfectly fine with just smashing and keeping it moving.
Smashing
some
dash.
people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think it pretty much boils down to anyone that's emotionally manipulating the other person for sexual favors or stringing them along.
Of the race.
You fall under the fuck boy, fuck girl category.
And it's
that's what it is.
Men or women. And that's kind of what the essence of the explain is what I'm trying to explain, or what we're trying to explain is like, hey, it's not just guys, it's women too, and we have to hold everybody accountable.
I feel like it's a whole nother ballgame once you start getting into like the LGBTQ, because I'm sure there's a lot of people in those kind. Like, what are the parameters for that?
Yeah.
Yo, we are talking from the heterosexual or cisgender, as they say, but that's because we're where we have the most experience.
Right.
When you start going into that ball game, now it's two fuck boys in a relationship. Two
fuck girls in a relationship.
What do you do?
And unfortunately, I think that's beyond the scope of Jux Explained.
Yeah, no.
You know what, Aaron? I like the way you wrapped that up.
Yeah, we went deep. This should have probably been a whole episode, but it's a two-way street, man.
That's it.
If you could drive up it, you can come back down that bitch.
And that is how we explained it.
I like it.
So all y'all girls out there thinking you're not fuck girls, stop lying to yourself. I'm calling them out. Just like they're fuck boys and y'all ain't shit. They're Fuck girls. Y'all ain't shit.
Okay.
All right.
And that is Jux
Jux
Explained.
Hey, made it this far. You already know what I say. Bernie fingers. Thank you. Peace.